Good afternoon, and happy Fleets Wake, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Idle Champions live stream. My name is Dylan Wilks. I am your host, and starting things off, I'd like to thank Wizards of the Coast and the Dungeons & Dragons team for hosting us on the official D&D Twitch. It's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's Critical Role Day, and also there are a few other shows before it. We're here to kick the broadcast day off, but coming up after us will be Waffle Talk at 4, and then I believe Trapped in the Birdcage is taking a day off this week. Holly Conrad is sick, so that show will be back next week, but is regularly on at 5. And then, of course, Critical Role is on at 7. Yes, welcome to the weekly Idle Champions live stream. Welcome Obo Crazy, Windrider, back at ya, Stills 101, Lucothia, Veraculous, Shazos S. I was going to say welcome Moobot for a second there as I was reading through, but Moobot is being managed by Erica and actually no, and the I think it's Bart actually who manages Moobot at Wizards of the Coast. But Erica is managing the Codename Entertainment Twitch account in chat, and welcome Kershaw, Daylights Asunder, Phelan. Congratulations to Mage Othello for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Good choice. Jodazy, welcome as well. So, no guest this week. The team is very, very busy working to get ahead on things so that we can add in other things. I can't really talk about much of any of that yet. But thank you as well, CMonkey79, for subbing up. So, you know, I'm here. What would you like to know? What would you like to chat with me about Idle Champions? Or, I mean, I'm definitely not an expert on D&D, and there are many people on this Twitch channel who are, but I am more than willing to help out with anything I can help out with. Yes, Phelan, we also like things, and so we are aiming to add more things so that you can enjoy more things when you're enjoying your things. So that joke's terrible. I'm going to move on to the game view so that at least it's not just me talking. You can see my Fleets Wake progress with auto progress off, and you can see that they have yet to. There it is. There's the notification. Now people can join us, but thanks to you for joining in advance. You didn't need to be reminded. This Kraken's hoop. There's no way. 150. This guy's toast. Sorry, adolescent Kraken. So we have a number of pre-questions that Erica has been putting into my question area here, and you know, obviously there's a fair number of topics. Although it seems like people are pretty happy for the most part. I mean, you know, there are some issues and some things that we'd like to work out, and some things that we are looking forward to sharing plans on when we have more of it defined. But other than that, things are going pretty well. Yes. Me Game 23 Thunderbolt chest. That is the weekly stream code for this week. I imagine someone like, actually no, Silisa might not have posted it because Silisa's not here, but somebody could post that in Discord, in the official Discord, or on the subreddit, or what have you. So we have a few things. During the Q&A yesterday, there was a question about. Let me just pull this up here so I get the wording right, because it was a question that Justin wanted to answer himself on stream, and obviously he's not here with me right now, but where the answer was nuanced enough and long enough that he didn't want to simply try and paraphrase anything or just try and post it in chat. So if you have some deep design related questions, whether it's related to how different things are balanced, how the math works in any different aspect of the game, those are totally Justin questions because I cannot answer any of them. Some people in chat may be able to answer some of them, but Justin is the only one who knows for sure. He has the keys to that particular safe of knowledge. So yes, but we did a weekly Q&A yesterday on the subreddit. It was number 15, I think. Yes, Idle Champions Community Q&A number 15. It's right at the top of the homepage right now. So that's reddit.com/r/idlechampions if anybody hasn't been there. And then, of course, Our official Discord is discord.gg/idlechampions. So join us in all the places. The Discord is quite active these days, but actually the subreddit is also pretty active as well. I see right now that there's some discussions going about Zorbu and some glitches, as well as Tomb of Annihilation formations, and how to Makos farm by Silisa that was posted yesterday sometime. If you don't know what that is, you should look it up. It's pretty cool. Oh, hello, Seven Shadows, Smirkgrin, DC Backroads, Sea Monkey, Candyman. Yeah, welcome everybody. Let me pull up these questions here. So I have one. Let's see. People wondering when the offline gold fix is coming. It is in progress. I quite literally heard Justin and Mark talking about it this morning during the meeting. I don't have an ETA for it, but it is coming. It's not one of those things that we're promising and pushing off forever. It's just you want to do it right, and it's more complicated than it might seem. Question. Erica added a few of these. Why are there no enemies to make Zorbu's favored enemy helpful? Well, there's a few, but obviously Zorbu's favored enemy debuffs cover a different range of monsters than Minsk. And yeah, actually I can just level them up here. Here we go. Here it is. Drow, Fiends, Aberrations, Giants, and Elementals. That isn't to say that there aren't any of them, but you know, maybe there'll be some, I don't know, bosses in the future that use this. Maybe there'll be some other things that you really want to use his favorite enemy types for. Yeah, don't want to spoil anything. What else did Erica add? Why do blacksmithing contracts take so many clicks? Because that's how it's set up right now. You know, we could certainly, I mean, it's, you know, we're always looking at ways to streamline things and make it more functional, so I'm just gonna add a note here. Thanks, Erica, for that one. Let's see, the duck again. Ever thought about shaving? Oh, thank you. I do. So here's a problem. You know, obviously I'm always bearded, that you've seen. Shaving shaves more than 10 years off my face. And while that might seem like a good thing, it's creepy to go from a guy who's in his mid-30s to looking like he's in his maybe early 20s. And now maybe a decade or two down the road I might care about that, but no, yeah, it makes me look way too young. So no shaving coming. Thanks though. I could certainly stand to trim a little better, but I was pressed for time this morning. I didn't, so I just did the light shave to clean up the neck beard and stuff, you know, one of those. Alrighty, Iwakichka. Do you guys have a roadmap of ideas you're working on or have planned? We do, but it's the majority of it are things that are not ready to be shared, which is why we haven't shared anything like that with our community yet. Certainly, I think by now, because you know we should be reaching the point where the game's been live for 6-ish months, that we feel like our community might be familiar with our cadence of how frequently we're releasing events and content, and you know when we usually have patches. So that should give you a pretty good idea of when probably more patches are coming and other events. So hopefully that is helping people out at least a little bit, give some insight into what we're doing. But yes, it's you know, roadmaps are an interesting thing. The biggest worry, obviously, on our end is that, you know, we will say something's going to happen and then it doesn't. You know, previously Dave mentioned, and he regretted this immediately, I'm sure, but he mentioned, you know, Kellenbor's Blessings last year, and we were hoping to get them out right away, but it ended up taking a month or more. So we definitely don't want to disappoint anybody. So that's why we kind of just talk about things in more general terms, like there is a Champions Balancing Pass coming, which we don't have an ETA on just because of, well, how much time Justin has and how in depth that kind of thing is. There is a tanking and healing update coming. You know, I don't have an ETA on that either, and I'm actually very curious myself to see how that's going to look. But you know, it's an ambitious set of goals with that one that I'm very curious to see how Justin solves that. but we don't have an ETA on it. We definitely have more characters coming, but I can't say when. The only information I could say is that we're probably having another one this month. It looks that way. And yeah, you know, it's one of those things. Like, certainly never hesitate to ask us a question, even if it's one that you think people have asked before, just because you know, there are always new players joining the game. So you know, I don't mind telling people every week, more than once, that there is currently no way to get event champions outside of events, but that's going to change at some point. And so yeah, it's okay. You know, keep us in check too, right? This is a two-way conversation. You know, it's okay to get to give feedback. You know, like it's nobody's perfect. We like hearing information from our community. You know, so yeah. Okay. Next question. The Maca 23. Why does the list of options for a hero show up in a random order? Why is it not consistent? Why are not all damage upgrades on the same side for all champions, but a vary in between champions? Okay, so the Maca, what we did a couple in the recent updates was we added identification numbers on the back end to every one of the specializations, so that they would stop shuffling around. And so where they sit now should be where they always sit. In terms of always having the DPS option on one side of the screen or the other, that's just not something that we've considered. I mean, yeah, that's really it. We're just happy that they're not jumping around anymore, because that was an odd thing to have as well. Ant Musical. How much Umberlee's favor do you currently have? That's a good question. Let me check. 1.54 E09. That much. What is that? That's a billion, right? I can't remember. Let me pull this up. Yep, 1.54 billion. So 1.5 billion Umberlees. And I think I've reaching the point where it's starting to plateau in terms of how much. Yeah, I'm in the 90% boost to a favor type, so it's becoming a little less useful. Eric TV, can we get more music eventually? I'm not going to say never, but I will say that adding music to the game is a lower priority than a lot of the other things that we want to add to the game. So I don't know when it will happen. Is anybody? I don't know if anybody's watching the game right now who may be sensitive to things like the lighting effects of the shake. So I'm just going to turn those off, anyways, just in case somebody is bothered by it, because I know a few of our players are, which is why those features were added. So. Oh, yes, there's a raffle going on. In case anybody is wondering what is in said raffle, let me just pull up my list here, because I have a list. Where did I put my list? Ah, okay, yeah, this is for a Hitch DLC, a Hitch Fourth Grade DLC. So that's one of these magnificent capes of free flowing. It's a gold shiny. No, it's not a shiny. It's a golden epic, and then a set of rares all around it. So good Hitch loot, and then I mean, who doesn't use Hitch? I think everybody does. And also, I mean, rares and then chests. So who knows what else you will get. Yeah. I suppose I'll upgrade Minsk. And next question. Is Zorbu supposed to have little red skulls under his favored enemies like Minsk? He is. And so there's... I am told, or I have been told, that that glitch is related to a typo that is going to be fixed with whenever we next do our push, which is to say, when we do a push, that's when we send out updated information. So that should fix itself. That was from Garwar. Yeah, Garwar. So it'll get there, but yeah, it's glitched now. Seven Shadows. How do you get the Tyrrell swap? Okay, so the Tyrrell swap, which is Barrowan under. It's a Gold Dwarf Cleric. Barrowan is from the Winter Shield event, which was in December of last year. So you cannot currently unlock Barrowan, because we have yet to implement our method for getting event champions outside of events. But I can definitely say that you will be able to unlock Barrowin before Winter Shield repeats this coming December. That probably doesn't give people comfort enough. Hopefully soon. All right, next question. Candyman, would Minsk, Humanoid, and Zorbo's Drow stack? That's a very good question. I mean, logically, my brain says yes, but I don't know how it's set up on the back end. Welcome, Santinos. You are finally here. Welcome. So yes, Candyman, I'm not sure if those buffs, debuffs stack in game right now, but I would think that they should. I can look into it. Just make a note here. Xanoth Avaith. What is redacted and redacted? Any clues you can give? Yeah, okay, so we are going to be including in some of our future updates some things from Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. And the timing as such may be that you get to preview some content a little bit from that book. Obviously, we're not going to be sharing any pages or anything like that, but it looks like we may be able to include some redacted in some of our future updates, which will be coming out before the book's official launch date, which I believe is the end of May 29th, I think. So, yeah, I can't really say more because I don't know what is officially finalized and definitely going to make it in. But I've seen some of the designs of some of the that's going to be in the game that some of our artists have been working on, and I'm stoked. Looks rad, you know, like we want to keep adding cool stuff, and yeah, we're going to be adding some cool stuff. So yeah, if you let's put it this way: if you see in the game that is not in any current 5e books that you've read, chances are it's coming from another book that's coming out really quickly. That's about as much as I can give without getting in the troubles. Bomo Veris. Why isn't there any incentive to collect more coins for chests? The price for several is just multiple of a single chest. I want a discount. So if you're referring to silver chests, yeah, it's just to make purchasing larger quantities easier. It's not about making them cheaper. That's really it. I get that you want a discount for purchasing more or some sort of reward for saving more, and I can pass that feedback along. But right now, it's just for ease. It's just for ease of purchasing. Da Mitiwak, Damiwak. What? These capitals and lower cases are killing me. When will we get Boo? You have Boo. Boo is sitting on Minsk's shoulder all the time. He is literally always there. You can see him right here. Who's that? That's Boo. And when you use Minsk's ult, if you look closely, and it's easy to miss this, Boo actually jumps from each of the enemies to debuff them before Minsk hits them. So you've already got Boo. Boo is here. He goes right for their eyes. Back at ya, 0-0. When one hits their wall, how long is recommended to grind that level before resetting? That's a very good question that I cannot answer with any degree of mathematical certainty, just because you know, players who truly optimize their experiences tend to have a slightly different approach to how they grind at their wall than other players. I like to hit, personally, a minimum amount of favor increase, aiming for at no less than like 10 to 15%, but hopefully aiming for 20% or higher at least before I reset. Now, if I reach my wall and I'm at 10% and it's like it takes me days to get anything more significant, I'll just reset. But it's basically, I mean, you kind of just reset once you hit your wall. I know that's not a super helpful answer, but if you're not earning way more gold that would make it worthwhile for you versus resetting and starting over, why would you keep doing it? So, yeah. Tessin, can we get a timer for our current runtime? It's an interesting idea. I will pass that along. Yeah. Phil Z12. Is there a way to aim with Calliope's ultimate? I can have 60 monsters beating on Nayeli on the top row, but then I get a single monster on the bottom, and that's the one she shoots. So, yes, but I don't know if you're going to like the answer. Depending on what your formation looks like and what you're playing, I mean, you just kind of angle your Calliope to hit the other side of the screen. So, like, anywhere you put her along here is going to change the axis of where she fires. So yeah, I mean, it's helpful to have her right behind the tank. It's really the best thing I could say. Like, yeah, same thing with Tyrell's Moonbeam, right? I always favor, depending on the formation, like if I'm doing the Tomb of Annihilation one, which is a triangle on its side pointed to the right side of the screen, I'll have Tyrell in the bottom corner because the beam will arc more favorably than if he's in the top, at least I find. So, I mean, that's the closest thing. Like, you can aim it by where you put her, but you can't aim where she's actually going to try and land it. So, try to fit what you want to hit in between the possible outcomes. I know that's not an ideal answer, but, I mean, yeah. Alex Straza. Will there be any reward for older players having the champions from the original events? Well, yes, in the sense that when the next, let's say we do this like Crusaders. I'm not saying definitively that this is how things are going to go, but like, let's say that we do. Let's say that we do a High Harvestide 2 this year, or High Harvestide 2018. Then we have a first tier release and series of missions adventures and variants to unlock Stokey, and then we have another tier of adventures and variants to unlock another champion or champions. The reward is that you've already got the original ones, and you probably got them geared up as well, so you're able to focus on what's next. So that's the reward. And the other reward is that, like, let's say we add another way to unlock heroes outside of events. You've already got the ones you want. So, if you're missing one, it's just easier for you. Like, you miss one event, you can get that character. So, yeah, the reward is that you already have them and that you've been playing with them. You haven't been waiting however many months to get them like some other players will have to. Silverbird. Why does it display a gold bar when you drop the frame rate limit to 30 or under? That's a good question. I have no idea. I haven't even seen that. Can I do something to lock my frame rate down? No? Target frame rate. All right, let's... Oh. I didn't know it did that. No idea. We'll pass it along. Let's see. Oh, I'm being told right now by Erica that it's not a gold bar. It's actually a potato. Oh, I get it. That's a terrible joke. That's a terrible joke. Yeah. Terrible. All right. Atharay, are you planning to release an Android version of the game? I cannot comment on any potential future versions of the game. Sorry. Leucothea, might we see the bonus weekends come around for repeat occasions? That's a very interesting question. That I can't answer. Next question. Canuck Monkey. Is there any source that explains how Calliope's Song of Protection works? Specifically the cooldown. From what I've seen, I'm pretty sure it repeats occasionally, but I don't know how often, if the original temporary HP have to be gone before it happens, etc. So you're referring to the shield that comes out to damage champions. The keyword is damaged. So if there's a shield already on them, they're not going to get a new one until the shield's gone. That's really it. I don't know how else to put it. Temporary HP in the game is supposed to more or less behave in a similar way to how it does in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So a more powerful buff will overwrite one if there's possibly more than one buff. So for example, if you have Calliope shielding a character and then you use her ultimate ability to get another shield, whichever one is stronger, which should be the ultimate, will overwrite it. They don't stack. But yeah. Kitty Kitty Big Butt. What percentage of Codename Entertainment is focused on idle champions? Oh, that's a good question. I answered this in huge detail to somebody recently, but then I realized that it was a one-on-one dialogue. It wasn't a something that was posted publicly. So let's see. We have 4 artists dedicated to idle champions full time. That's Michelle, who does most of our monsters. Adam, who is our art director, who does well, some of everything, but tends to do most champions and is doing some other stuff that I can't talk about, UI and other things as well. We have Alexis, who does a lot of our backgrounds, but also does champions. Did Birdsong, did the next champion you'll see. And we have Kat, who does also fills in, who has been helping with monsters, but also does all of our portraits, our icons, all that kind of stuff. So that's 4 artists. And then depending on the workload, we might bring in one of our other artists over to help from another game. So that's Georgia, who does art for Bushwhacker 2, has helped with Idle Champions, and I believe that Corey, who does art for Crusaders of the Lost Idols, has also helped with art, I think, at times. But it's 4 full-time. And then Justin, Dave, Mark, Peter, and our co-op student, Jacob, are also working on Idle Champions full-time. And I can't really explain what everybody does except to say that they're developers. So that's 9 people out of the office. And then obviously Eric being our CEO, and then Erica being our community manager, myself and Clive doing a mix of a corpse. Dylan would be a terrible poker player. Would I? Anyways, so we have quite a few people, but it's a little over half of the company, because we have 17 people here, including Jacob, our co-op, of which 9 are working on the game actively, and then there's Clive, Erica, myself, and Eric, who are working on a bunch of things. So I hope that helps. Yeah. Cubix 6. Have you thought about making the stream chest codes less random? Specifically, I just opened mine and got a purple contract. Maybe for the event-specific ones from codes only make the rares epics on event champ gear. Still have no Zorbu epics. No. Event stream chest codes are... It's just a reward for tuning into our stream. I mean, they're active for a day, which allows people to share them. But, yeah, we're not going to give out specific loot. If this was one of your gold Zorbu chests, first, a purple contract doesn't count towards your guaranteed epic equipment card within 10 chests. So if this is your first Zorbu gold chest, somewhere in your subsequent 9 chests, you'll get a guaranteed epic equipment anyways. So, I have a clarification from Canuck Monkey. Let's see. If a champion in range is damaged and losing HP fast from a boss when I've hit the wall, for example, Calliope obviously doesn't perpetually apply a new shield instantaneously, or nobody could ever die. So I assume there's a minimum time between application of a shield. Any info on that delay? Oh, I don't have that information, but I will make a note, and perhaps we'll be able to get Justin or Dave or somebody to clarify on that one. Dark Claw 5150. Any plans to have the journal act more like an overall adventure journal, i.e. major highlights, firsts, examples? Yeah, thanks for the feedback. So the journal is an interesting thing in that, like, we can't we're not super happy with everything about it right now. There are some display glitches, but also there are a lot of requests that there are a lot of requests for just different things to be added to it, or ways to sort it, or ways to display the information, and so on and so forth. So, we're hearing people, and we're kind of like collecting those suggestions and putting them into a list, and then we'll see what we end up doing with it. But yeah, don't expect the journal to stay the way that it is right now forever. But it's also definitely updating it is a much lower priority than some of the other things that we have planned. So, yeah, it's in progress. Lossian86. Will we see any more Baldur's Gate champions in the game anytime soon? I cannot speak to timelines, but I can say that yes. Yes, you will see them. No ETA on when. Yeah. Let's see. Montius Maximus 89. Idle Champs is amazing, but are there any more plans for other mobile or computer games? I might be addicted to anything Dungeons and Dragons. Wow. Okay, so obviously I can only speak on behalf of Codename Entertainment and Idle Champions at this point. So like if you're wondering what other plans Wizards of the Coast / Dungeons and Dragons have for more games, I can't speak to any of that. Yeah. In fact, I definitely can't in any way speak to any of it because we are also under an agreement with Wizards of the Coast to not disclose anything in advance. So sorry I can't help more, Montius Maximus 89, but I just yeah, there's nothing I could say about it. If you stay tuned to D&D's channels, as things are announced, you will definitely hear about it. That's the best I can help with. Blue Phoenix 175. Could we get a complete and replay button so we don't have to go back to the campaign map just to choose the same free play again when we're grinding? Some nice feedback. I will pass that along. Medea 1337. Medea Elite. That's my beverage. Crusaders of the Lost Idols allows to reset before the wall and still get idols. Idle Champions requires always to go to the wall before you get awarded with favor. Any plans to make resets before the wall more profitable? That's a very good Justin question. Not one that I can really speak to in any way because it speaks to not just the design of the game, but like the potential future design of the game, which I don't have any insight to. You know, I'm there for the meetings, but like I'm not gonna lie, I half the time have to pull somebody aside afterwards and ask them what they were talking about related to game design, just to make sure that I'm on the same page as them, because it's not always something that I understand. At least not when they're speaking in developer code talk. Now that being said, there are a couple things that I can speak to related to it that I do know about. For example, it has been requested, mentioned, and talked about numerous times on stream, but we are intending to have a way to get through your earlier levels. Sorry, not your earlier levels, the earlier areas that you've for completion faster. Because obviously as the wall you can reach gets further and further away, it means that your plays take much longer to get through. And so we are looking at ways to speed that up. But we don't have an ETA on anything related to it. So I hope that helps. Atharay. Is Kat the same artist that does the portraits for Critical Role? Not unless Kat is doing some art on the side that I didn't know about. No, so our Kat, who is at the Art Monkey, but I think the is TEH, on Twitter and Instagram. And she is our resident portrait artist. I don't know if she does any fan art for Critical Role or not, because I've never asked her. But her day job is with us. So, yeah. Omar 1978. Is there an event this weekend like a character buff? There should be. Yeah. Let's go with yes. Yes, there will be. DC Backroads. Does guaranteed epic include duplicates? Okay, so DC Backroads, you're asking about what comes, what the guaranteed epic equipment card is in gold chests. So there's a few things. We get a lot of questions related to this, and there is some of the bits of information have been split up across where we've answered them. So let's just kind of go over gold chests as a whole. So each gold chest type has a specific like a specific internal pity timer. So your regular gold chest, within every 10 gold chests, you are guaranteed to get at least one epic equipment card that you don't have, provided there are any left to get. So you could potentially get a another epic equipment card that you've already earned, if it's like if it's a Zorbu gold chest or a Fleetwig gold chest, and you've already got 6 epics for a Zorbu, then yes, that epic will be a duplicate. And what it does is it just increases the item level of that item by a higher amount than a rare or a common or uncommon. But the timer is split between gold chest types. So when there's a weekend promotion, like last weekend when the chaotic gold chests were out, they have their own pity timer for an epic equipment card within 10 chests that is separate from the regular gold chest 10 chest pity timer that is separate from the event one, etc. So I hope that helps clear it up. It has been brought up a few times, but I just want to make sure that yeah, that helps. Let's see. Nazen Bayer 75. Is it intentional that bosses are growing over time the longer you take to kill them? The drunk wizard was so large his upper half wasn't visible. So it is. So basically when you reach a boss that you cannot kill quickly, for every bit of time, I can't remember the exact timer, but they basically they power up and gain more powerful as they sit there. So eventually they will kill you. Yeah, so they are supposed to get bigger. They're only supposed to get bigger to a point, but as I understand it, we haven't gotten around to isolating and fixing the issue that causes them to grow indefinitely. Because certainly I've seen some screens where it's like just a foot is the whole screen, and it's not supposed to be like that. Ray Cool. Will there be a silly giant monsters option down the line? I like giant monsters. Funny you should ask that. I can't really comment on what's coming specifically down the line. Yeah, you like giants? You will be happy with at least some of the things you see in the near future. Very cool. Question 36. Back at ya 00. Is Idle Champions doing well on Steam? Also, out of all the games you develop, is Idle the most played? So, it is the most played, I believe, right now. We have 3 active live service games right now. We have Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is why we're here. We have Crusaders of the Lost Idols, and we have Bushwhacker 2. I believe currently the active player base is the largest for Idle Champions. I don't know how much more that information, like I don't know what other information I can give. In terms of how it's doing on Steam, you can look it up actually. We are in the upper echelons of how you know the number of games on Steam. We're in like the upper % or so of how many games are played, or rather how many users are playing our game. Which is to say, like we're certainly not doing PUBG numbers, or you know, to compare it to another single-player campaign, we're not doing The Witcher 3 numbers. But for Idle games, we're doing very well. For D&D games, we're doing very well in terms of number of users, and yeah, we have you know, thousands of players playing it at any given moment throughout the day. So we're happy with it. I mean, obviously, we would love to have more players. No objections there. But yeah, Idle Champions is the most played right now, I believe. Jirik, we need to have some sort of formation management. Being able to assign a name to a formation, delete a formation, and possibly a formation preview. So Jirik, you can save your formations over here on the left. I mean, you don't name them, it's 1, 2, and 3, but you can save them. Like, this is my 1 formation, and my 2 formation was a playing around with a Ashara, which did not push as fast as far as my Jamila. But so I mean, there already is a formation management feature, and which you can remove and clear. So I don't know, is there something? There's no formation preview, but yeah, like Jirik, what else are you wanting to see? I see that Insane Joe just asked about what the stream code is. So we have a stream code down in the corner here. Should be over there, relative to how I am. Which I can, yeah, Thunderbolt chest. Let's do it. Boom. Gnomish reading glasses. So yeah, time to level up some of these characters, hey. Dun, 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 dun. God, I'm humming along to that song again. Alright. Alrighty. Got some long questions here. Okay, I'm not moving through these quickly enough, I'm sorry. Damien Ewok. Idea for a free play level or adventure portal into the fundamental plane of chaos where there's a random buff debuff after each boss. Buffs just like the weekend events and the debuffs being negative versions of them. Maybe the buffs and debuffs have a timer. So you're thinking of like greater rifts for the game, but yeah, greater rifts. Well, pass that idea along. Silverbird. Can we have an option for small hero icons so you don't have to scroll left and right to upgrade heroes? You know, it's interesting because we've had feedback about our interface down here at the bottom where you have to scroll back and forth, which you can use the mouse wheel for, by the way, a few times. And yeah, I don't mind passing that along. I mean, I don't know what way we're going to address the UI, but at some point I expect it to be updated. Canuck Monkey, okay, just in case you missed it, Donduran85 pointed out that it is 3 seconds and it shows up on the incoming buffs for any character receiving it. You could take it off your list of questions asked, but you might add a feature request for that 3 seconds to be listed on the outgoing effect on Calliope's character sheet as well. Oh, okay, so if she refreshes her shield every 3 seconds, I'll make a note about that. Certainly, anytime there's an area where we could be communicating something better, just let us know. Let me know, let the devs know, etc. We're all in this together. Let's see. Artemis. What if you had the option to run 5 levels simultaneously, like you were saying about earlier levels, but what if you could currently do the 5 area objectives in a single mission? Then when you get to higher levels, you can turn it off and do 1 at a time. I don't know how or if that'll work, but again, we can pass that along. Twitch Drac. Can we get HP bars that show up on the character portraits along the bottom, possibly only shown for characters in the formation, and potentially with an option to hide for full HP characters? So if the reason that you're asking for this is because you lose track of people's HP because there's other things in front of them, yes, that is an issue that we are hoping to address at some point. Although, yeah, no, I can't get into that right now. Sorry. Insane Joe, is there a way to get the damage output for each hero easier to read? I find sometimes it's hard to see who's doing what damage for the ones in the top rows, even on occasion. The easiest way is to click on their portrait, and it's right there. It's spelled in their swing information. You know, if you mouse over them long enough, it will also pop up. So that's the best way to see how a character, how hard they're hitting. Another suggestion, a button or setting to lock heroes so that you don't accidentally level heroes that you aren't using. That has been requested before. I will pass that along. Certainly it's one of the things, especially about games like ours, if we get a bit of feedback all the time, and it's that same bit of feedback, like for example people asking for a way to change specializations during missions, we'll address it somehow. You know, so now there's a potion of specialization that is a very rare drop, but every once in a while it can be very helpful if you don't want to spoil a run that you were doing where you were hoping to get more done. Zarta, I had a boss grow larger than the screen because it for some reason couldn't deal any damage and didn't receive any damage either. Is that intended behavior? No, that's a bug. That happens sometimes. Sorry about that. If it's something that, if you know enough about your circumstances, Zartat, like, you know, you have an idea of what caused it or the context, you know, anything that can help us out in isolating things like that, please feel free to open a ticket and detail it out and let us know. Kitty Big Butt, question, do you ever collaborate with other idle games? I don't know that there's anything I'm allowed to talk about in relation to that subject. We haven't. You know, I mean, we have some of our friends, other friends make idle games. But I don't know that there's anything I can mention about anything related to that, because that is an Eric question. Eric, our CEO, is the only one who could probably answer anything about that. Basically, because he's not sitting here beside me to answer the question, I don't know what I can say. That's kind of where I'm at with that one. Artemis, could we get an unlockable auto cast for ultimates? No, we're not going to do that. The reason being that, like, if ultimate abilities are automatically cast, they are not ultimate abilities. They are passive abilities that are idle play. So it would be removing one of the active play elements and one of the bonuses for actually actively playing the game. So we're not going to unlock our ultimate abilities so that they are automatically cast. Sorry. Sly Yeti. Is upgrading click damage ever a good idea? That depends. So certainly you can think of, there's the one mission in the Tomb of Annihilation campaign where you have 30 minutes to complete up to area 50, I think it is. And that requires a lot of clicking in order to stay on top of it. And the best way to do that is upgrading click damage. Like, obviously having a bunch of your heroes in the party, but upgrading your click damage and clicking as fast as you can through all the dialogues and through the enemies to get through it to complete that one in time. So that, at that point, click damage upgrades are a great idea. That being said, personally, I don't put a single level into it at any other time, ever. The only time that I might consider it would be when starting a new event with 0 favor, when your gold gain is extremely low. It might be worthwhile to help if you're struggling to keep your party alive, to help you get through those first waves of enemies before you get your party established, because it's pretty easy for Bruner to get overwhelmed and killed. So that's about it in terms of upgrading click damage. Now, that being said, there are also some players who have managed to push exceptionally far in the game's content, you know, and yeah, they're upgrading their main DPS, their tank, and sometimes their click damage as well, and that's it. So yeah, so it varies, I guess. Sly Yeti. It can be useful, but I wouldn't say that it is. Always. It's not always. Colette. Any chance of a new tier of blessings for campaigns to skip 50 levels and have an allocation of starting gold? Would be a nice way of skipping while proving you are worthy to skip. Would skip all the missed gems, but that's an acceptable cost. That's an interesting way of putting it. What I can say about that is that there will be more blessings. Kidoriel. Why don't you use Birdsong as your main DPS? I've noticed that she's more effective than Jamila once she reached 3 kills. Because my Jamila has 2 gold shiny epic. So yeah, I can do more damage with her. Not that Birdsong DPS isn't super viable and Birdsong isn't very good, but my Jamila is just better. That's it. Lots of people are finding success using Birdsong DPS formations because Birdsong is super good. Indecrescent. Why the hell is the clicker upgrade so weak? So the reason it's so weak is because we actually don't want it to be a viable way of getting through all of the content in the game. You can use an auto clicker program to just click for you, and then you would be able to progress who knows how far if clicking was always viable. So right now it is kind of set up to cap out in effectiveness. I think it's like, I want to say by like area 80 or 100, but within the first 100 or so areas it becomes useless for the average player because upgrades into it don't give you enough damage to keep using it. So Locknor, why is Zorbo's minimum 15? Shouldn't it be 14? There's no difference cost to this consistency. That's a Justin question that I can't really answer to any degree that will satisfy anyone. I do know it has been pointed out at times that it has been pointed out that we have some language inconsistencies in terms of how we word these abilities, which is something that we're looking at. Like, as we catch it, we update it. But why is Zorbo's minimum 15 instead of 14? Yeah. Very cool. My drink of choice today is... Actually, will it just disappear behind me? Yeah, you can kind of see. It's Perrier. I just have a bit of Coke Zero left over that I'm finishing. Because I hate wasting stuff. I don't like pouring things out. Kitty Kitty Big Butt, are any of you going to GDC this year? Yes, GDC is next week, I think. Yeah, Eric flies out on Sunday. Eric will be there all week. I have seen his schedule. I do not envy it. It is crazy busy. The Seaman Rifty, I can't speak for them, but as a viewer, my choice of drink is lager. Yeah, touche. I would prefer to be having lager as well, but I'm at work. Hobo Crazy should join the D&D tea hashtag. Drink some tea while playing some kind of D&D. I often drink tea in the afternoon. I just wasn't. The Coke Zero's left over from my lunch. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Kitty Kitty Big Butt. Eric will be at GDC. If you can catch him, yeah, say hi. I know he'd love to. But it looks like he is in meetings for a week straight at all hours of the day and night. So, you know. But I know he always loves it when people come up to him and ask him about the game. Let's see. Question: can you put a tab or window somewhere with a small chart showing the number system, non-scientific system notation? Oh, okay. So like a conversion chart. Is that what we're asking for? Somebody asked for engineer notation recently, and like I've nudged the devs about it a few times, but we haven't put it in. So yeah, Dat might walk. Dat might you walk. Man, I'm failing at that name. I'm sorry. If you could be more specific. In the meantime, I will move on. Nemanva. Doesn't the 90% of max HP damage every 5 seconds seem a bit much for the first variant on the event? It's a pretty intense one, hey? I didn't have any trouble completing the event because I didn't find that the healing or that damage was what held me back, but it certainly kept those first areas until I had more of a party intense. Yeah, and you definitely lose a person or two each round unless you had you actually used healing and shields in your party. So yeah, I thought that variant was really cool, actually. I thought it was one of the cooler ones that Justin had thought up of late. Zarta, would it be possible to show the amount of plus champion damage percentage that each champion currently gives in the outgoing effects? That's a good idea. I will pass that along. Anthony W. Lenz, are you aware of anything being done about duplicate shinies currently providing no bonus or benefit? I have a suggestion post about it which you may or may not be aware of. I'm not sure what that refers to. It's like, is the post on Reddit? Well, let me check right now quickly. Not seeing it on the front page. No, so maybe it's on the Steam forums. Because I mean, you can't actually get a duplicate shiny item right now unless you received more than one. So there is no way to get them naturally from chests. Like, you cannot get a duplicate shiny item. What happens is, like, if you were working with part of the Refer a Friend program, in which if you completed the program with any one person, you got a specific silver shiny item, and you could only get that one item. So you could complete it many times, and you could have 5 of the same one, but they don't do anything. The other way to get an extra duplicate one is if you have every possible shiny equipment card from a type of chest, you could potentially get another one that does nothing. But yeah, I mean, shiny items have never been intended as a specific progression system for the game. It's a change to the slot. It is not an item level thing itself. So like, if you're wondering if anything's being done about them, no, like there's not, because there's nothing wrong with them. That's really it. Baldnosis. Hi all, long-time YouTube watcher, first time on the live stream. The community has been working on custom tools which try to help people with champion selection formation. Could C&E considering on offering an export of the champion gear data so we could populate these spreadsheets more easily? It never hurts to ask. And I could pass it along, but I think it's extremely unlikely. Yeah. Colton Xanadu. Will there be a new tier of blessings before a new campaign or the other way around? I can't answer that question. I can say that there will be new tiers of blessings, and I can say that there will be a new campaign, but I can't say which one's coming when. Let's get some levels in here. Maybe I'll just pick one of these two. How about Fiends? It's the one that doesn't work, right? Sure. Just because I want to level them up so it's grayed out. Gotta have that consistency. Nomad 84. Will there be a new dev blog soon? And will it have more info about rumored upcoming changes to reduce the amount of manual clicking needed to get to our walls after each set? I don't know where any of those rumors would come from, but the answer to all of that is no. You know. Now that being said, dev blogs are not something that are on our regular schedule, like our regular schedule. They're something that Justin does when like a significant change is coming to the game. It's so that he can better explain what's coming in advance, and then we can have a bit of a dialogue about it before those kinds of changes come into effect. But yeah, I can say there isn't one planned for next week. I don't know anything about rumored upcoming changes to reduce manual clicking or where that idea is coming from. Phil Z12, have you tried to see how far you can get without leveling any of your heroes? I think it's somewhere around like level 70 or something, 60, 70, depending on how big my party is, where they just kind of stop progressing. I should probably use all my ultimates here. Just get this Kraken good and killed up. All right, Phalon, are you guys coming to PAX East? I don't know. We've talked about it a bit. So yeah, PAX East. I don't think we're going. It might happen. Like, if we go, chances are it will only be one of us, and it would be most likely Eric, because he is better able to connect with other people that we will be doing work with than either Clive or myself will be able to. So I don't think we're going to PAX East. Demolition Demon, how did you get your gold find so high? I have been regularly resetting at 250 in the event, just because the Kraken at 250 is just a huge pain. So I kind of just built up my gold find pretty quickly there. Is that Larius or Iarius? Are you Canadian? I'm a Canadian citizen, yes. The rumors about dev blogs with info about reducing manual clicking came from me a week or 3 ago. I asked about reducing manual clicking, and the answer was yes, keep an eye out for upcoming dev blogs. Yeah, but I didn't give a timeline on anything. Yeah. Kitty Kitty Big Butt, could we see your intern as a guest before they go? It's a possibility. Jacob is here until the end of August, so it's a chance. I mean, last year you guys got to see Mike, Moikey Moik, before he was gone. He was working on UI related stuff. Nomad 84, kind of a separate topic, but is there any chance of official support for a formation calculator type tool? Would love to have an easy way to theorycraft formations without having to dedicate a run to an experimental buff specialization arrangement. Official support for a formation calculator? I don't know about that. I could pass that along, but I think that's unlikely, just because I have a pretty good idea of how thinly everyone is stretched and what our timelines look like, and I just don't know when we would have any time to pursue something like that. Ray Cool, have you personally ever beaten heirs to Skull Crag? Nope, I haven't. Insane Joe, is there a level cap on items? I don't believe there is. It just kind of levels up indefinitely as far as I'm aware. Devunator, stat screen like Coatley has. Yeah, I mean, that's statistics are, and screens related to them are something that is regularly requested. It's kind of just like it's on the list. Nomad 84, shouldn't Zorbu's aberration favored enemy selection apply to gibbering mouthers? It should, and it's actually a bug. Not displaying is a bug, and it should be fixed next time we push. A corpse. If you are killing slowly, i.e. near your wall, does that reduce your event token drop rate? I.e. if you don't kill an enemy for over 30 seconds, is that event token drop lost or rolled over? So what happens is the game recognizes that you didn't receive it from an enemy, and what it does to make up for it is more enemies will drop event tokens. So if you are walling at an enemy for 2 hours that you don't kill and then you reset, it'll be like every enemy you kill will drop an event token until you get caught up. Any chances on Fibbledorf Puent or the Boulder Shoulder Brothers? Clarifying the question on number chart, I have a piece of paper with the letters in ascending order. KMBTQ, QS, S, ECT, because I will sit down from letting it idle for a while and have like 950 N gold and not have a clue right off how much I have earned. The Mighty Ewok, or Ewok for short. Okay, Ewok. I use scientific notation because the numbers are super easy to look at and understand. Omar 1978, will there be a character buff this weekend? If so, which characters? I can't say which characters, but I can say that the buff is expected. Jester 24, Dylan, what resolution are you running? Have you played Idle at 4K? I have not played Idle at 4K because I don't have a 4K monitor and there aren't any 4K monitors in the office. This is currently running in 720p, glorious 720, and that's because that's what we broadcast at, just because we can handle the data, that kind of data. That's really it. Question, is Jarlaxle the only current champion who can get all 3 buffs? Intellect, Dexterity, Charisma. Is he the favorite champion at the office or something? No, but it's, I mean, obviously, somebody likes him, right? Very cool. Even if you have to lie about it, please tell me it's not a Krond buff this weekend. It's not a Krond buff this weekend. Like, actually isn't. Which is funny because I'm always asking for stuff like that, but I'm a bit of a troll. Yeah, so how am I doing in this mission here? Hybrid Dom, who is your favorite champion currently? I don't know. I feel like Birdsong is probably right up there because I like what Birdsong brings to the game and the way that Birdsong brings it, and that without being horrendously overpowered, Birdsong allows you to do a bunch of cool stuff and or be a DPS. So probably Birdsong right now would be my favorite at the moment, although my favorite is definitely the next one, for from everything I've seen so far, and it's not close. Like the next one by far. Smile, it helps. In the top right corner, the information under the scenario name is not useful. Could that be changed to give info on the area's monster types or types? That would be useful when I chose a favorite enemy. The tooltip for Barrowin's ultimate attack says enemy will take extra damage for 5 seconds. Could you specify the amount of damage on the tooltip? Okay. Well, those are suggestions, not questions, but yeah, I will take the feedback. How about rage? There we go. Rage. Dire Fist. Will there ever be any editing of the current dialogue? I have now read almost every Dritz book, and I feel like Jarlaxle's personality did not translate particularly accurately to Idle Champions. Interesting bit of feedback. I mean, we don't have R.A. Salvatore writing for Idle Champions. But for those of you who tuned in last week, Scott Fitzgerald Gray was the guest, and Scott is actually the one who is taking over writing our additional campaigns. You know, it was Justin and David and Jacob Burgess doing it to date, doing a variety of it. I think, you know, design-wise, it was something like 80% of the adventures were designed by Justin, and I think the other 20% or so were designed by David. I mean, my math is probably off a bit, but like it's mostly the Justin and David show, and then Jacob filled out some of the adventures with dialogue. But it's Scott Fitzgerald Gray, who is one of the editors of the 5th edition core rulebooks and the author of the Dead and Thay adventure in Tales from the Yawning Portal. Scott Fitzgerald Gray has a decades of history with Dungeons and Dragons, so he is the writer that has come on board now, who will be writing and filling out adventures from here on out. So I will pass your feedback along, Dire Fist, that you don't feel like we have accurately adapted Jarlaxle Bainr's personality, yeah, hopefully it will be great. Baron Stromgard. Why do some starting champs have multiple golden epics, but Makos and Delana have none? Can we get a golden epic from Makos Cape? That's the Goldpine one, isn't it, I bet? Yeah, it is. Of course it is. Nice try. Trying to increase your gold farm, Cape. Yeah. There are champions that have none, and there are some that have several. It's not intended to stay that way, but yeah. I couldn't speak to how Justin picks the order in which those come out. I just defer to his judgment because he has far more information about what's coming and how it all fits together than I do. Thantanos. Dylan, the new champion feels like he should be a DPS, but he gets no help in getting there. When will he be viable? In my opinion, he needs a buff, but I cannot see the roadmap. Is he a throwaway champion? Thanks, Thantanos. How do I put that? So I haven't actually really even used Zorbu because my other characters are too geared to permit trying him. And I can't speak to the math behind him. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff in the Discord and some of the discussions on Discord and Reddit talking about his viability, and yeah, I don't honestly, I don't have much of an opinion on it yet. I think that when there are more enemies that his favorite enemy allows you to do increased damage to, that his role will shift somewhat. I mean, he's a dex buffer, and we have Dritz, and we have other companions of the hall coming, and I assume they're going to be in different slots than Zorbu, because I can't imagine they're all going to be slot 12 champions, and they're also going to be able to fit in with the other ones. So I think he will have his spot, but I think that because so many formations, certainly the peak formations, are designed around who can accept the most buffs. It's like, who gets a buff from Ashara, from Calliope, from Hitch, you know, like everybody. Like, because if you don't get all of them, then you're not viable. And so things aren't going to stay that way, but I could see why people are perhaps a little disappointed in them in the short term. Artemis, Codename Entertainment. What do you think of Prime Minister Zoolander Trudeau? I'm totally not going to talk politics on this channel unless it's politics related to the Forgotten Realms. So if you want to talk about how racist elves can be to half-elves and humans and other races, we could talk about that, but real-life politics has no place here. Question 80, Arnorian. My current internet is only 48% in strength, resulting in idle champs getting stuck on loading game data a lot or not saving progress after killing a boss. Is there a plan on making it so that it loads and saves more to local first so you can still progress? I can't answer that. I can say that like we get a lot of tickets and a lot of feedback from players who are on slower internet connections, and I don't know what we can do about that. And I don't, you know, we would need either Dave or Justin or both even to be able to discuss what possible things we might be doing to address it. I know that a lot of effort of late has been putting into lowering the strain on system resources that the game has been taking up. To varying degrees of success, it seems to have helped a lot. The game uses a lot less RAM than it did when it first when it first launched. So, you know, that's kind of where we're. Oh, no, is that rage wasted? Oh, good. So yeah, I mean, a lot of effort has been put into that because it was using up crazy amounts of RAM and system resources before, and now it's that footprint has dramatically shrunk, and we're obviously always looking to improve that. Kill all the crabs. Boom, 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 boom. Very cool. Why doesn't Zorbu get his own buff? That is a fantastic question. I don't know. You know, it's a question that has been asked more than once. The duck again. Statistics. Yes. It's on the list. The duck again. The journal, the UI, statistics, all those things are kind of like, they're on a decent sized list of features and things that we're interested in implementing in different ways, and we don't have timelines for them. It's not something that we'll create overnight. Certainly, yeah. Let's see. Sea Monkey 79. How can you put Zorbu and Dritz in the same party? Well, okay, yeah, so you're referring to the fact that the Zorbu is racist against Drow, and Dritz is a Drow. Well, Dritz is like the only good Drow, though, right? Or one of the only good Drow, and people know who that is. I feel like they'd probably get along. I think their first meeting might be a little bit strange, but let's face it, I mean, Dritz has so much plot armor that nobody's getting through it. Alright, question. Event champions. Can we ever get a way to unlock events temporarily with money so we can finish upgrading event champions achievements, getting to the champs? I am going to keep my mouth shut on that topic, just because we've been taking a lot of feedback on event champions and their accessibility / inaccessibility outside of events, and certainly a lot of content gets created for events that are temporary. So yeah, so I guess you can still do your achievements from events, or at least some of the achievements, as long as they don't specifically need to be in the event free play for event champions. But in terms of paying money to re-unlock, I don't know, Fleet's Wake to do again, I don't know if we'll do that. Yeah. Other ways to unlock and gear up event champions are coming, and they don't look like re-unlocking the same event. Danny and 90. When will you be letting us upgrade gear like in Crusaders of the Lost Idols? I can't answer that. That's a Justin question. More design stuff. Octavian. Will there be adventures not in the Forgotten Realms? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I can't answer it, but it's a good question. We're certainly, I could say that we're, right now, like our focus is on the Forgotten Realms. There are just too many adventures and characters that can still be covered by us before we need to start looking elsewhere. We've had a lot of people ask us about the world of Dragonlance, about Kryn, Kender, etc., about characters from it like Raceland Machir. We've had people asking about other aspects of the D&D multiverse, and like right now it's like this is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. So we're pretty focused on that specific thing right now. So that's what I can say. The .dk, not really a question, but I just want to thank you and Codename for being so open in your communication with us. It means a lot. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you were enjoying it. Nomad84, as a bit of a counterpoint to the usual when, what, why questions you get on these streams, just wanted to say thanks for being the face and voice of Codename Entertainment for us players. I'm sure I speak for others when I say we're enjoying the growth of this game, playing events, and looking forward to the future. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Nomad84. I know that perhaps I don't get to answer questions as freely or as fully as I'd like all the time, just because between what we're not allowed to say, because we are in an agreement with Wizards of the Coast and under NDA, and so there are things that we're privy to that we can't talk about in advance, like other potential titles and things related to books, etc. And so, you know, I'm always worried about whether or not we'd step over any of those lines, because we definitely don't want to do that. And then we also have a lot of information related to the game and the development, and like because all things can change and none of it is set in stone 100%, there's a lot of stuff related there that I don't want to, you know, I don't want to accidentally promise anything or make a mistake like a few weeks ago when I misinterpreted a question and answered it totally wrong, and then all of a sudden the wrong information is circulating. So, you know, I'm glad that you know, our community appreciates our attempts to be as communicative and transparent as we possibly can, given the restrictions we're working within. So yeah, thanks for your words, Nomad84 and the .dk. I appreciate some positive feedback. Portland Ace. So are the office trolls feeling better and working on adding distractions yet? Yes, people are feeling much better. Who's out today? We have 2 people not here. One of them is on vacation with their family, and the other one is just on a brief leave. Everybody else is here. And I don't think anybody's sick either. If they are, they're hiding it. Yeah, as for distractions, we have ideas and there are other things we want to do. They just, it's one of those things that gets shuffled around on our priorities list, but it's on there. Bill VR, is Greyhawk a realm in 5th edition? P.S. More Wolfgar. Well, I mean, technically any Wolfgar would be more Wolfgar than what we have, right? Because there's no Wolfgar in Idle Champions currently. Is Greyhawk a realm in 5th edition? Well, if you'll flip through your books, Greyhawk is mentioned in 5th edition books. But is there an official Greyhawk book for 5th edition? I don't think that there is. Not that I'm aware of. Yeah. Although, isn't Morden Kanan from Greyhawk? Because that would be in Morden Kanan's Tome of Oath, wouldn't it? Because I'm pretty sure that's where he's from. I know somebody in chat will probably answer it before I search for it on Google right now, but I swear that he's from Greyhawk. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's from Greyhawk. So, I mean, Greyhawk is officially part of 5th edition because Morden Kanan's Tome of Foes is part of 5th edition. At least it will be in May. But I don't, as far as I know, there's no book that has, you know, lore and information about Greyhawk that is a 5th edition stamped book. Move speed. What if you did a mini event replay, like one weekend a month, run an old event but don't have free play in it, so people who missed old events can make some progress at least, but not farm all the sweet gear that you really need to make it worth it anyways. We have talked internally about ways of unlocking event champions and equipping them. And both those things will be realities in the game at some point in the future. But I can't speak to when, because I don't know what our project timelines are for that, or exactly how we're going to do it. Yeah. Yes, Xanath of Eighth. Morden Kanan is Gary Gygax's wizard character. Yeah, he's one of the original characters created. And he's super powerful, super wizard. You know, he can, well, I mean, he's actively doing so much stuff. He's one of those super wizards, you know, he's just doing everything. Paying attention to everybody, he knows everything that's going on. He's got an entire tome of foes coming out in, what, 6 weeks from now, maybe? Was it March, April, May? Yeah, it's like 8 weeks, whatever, 2 months from now. It's coming soon. Strong Arm 852. Many of the adventures in Tales from the Yawning Portal originally take place in Greyhawk. The only exception is Dead and Thay, I think. I don't know yet, actually. My copy of Tales from the Yawning Portal only arrived at my house the other day, because I'm planning on doing some one-shots with some friends using them, so. Oh, that was weird. That was a strange display issue. Captain Neril doubts we'll see Greyhawk because, as far as they can remember, there's some sort of copyright thing with that universe, and Wizards of the Coast doesn't own the complete rights. That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak to any of that. I know that the entirety of everything that is created for D&D is pretty vast, and that some IPs are ones that Wizards has control over and owns, and some are not. Certainly when we get a lot of questions from players related to you know, champions that they want to see in the game, whether that's characters like Dritz or characters like you know, some of the Mighty Nine from Critical Role. And you know, characters created for Critical Role are actually owned by them. They're not owned by Wizards of the Coast. So if we wanted to add a character like that, we would have to, you know, first we would have to talk to Wizards of the Coast and be like, hey, we're looking at adding X, Y, and Z characters from whatever property, and make sure that it's okay with them, and then we'd have to reach out to the other property, and then there's a lot of lawyering and legal agreements and usage agreements and such involved, and it's like it becomes a pretty complicated thing. So like the simple way to put it is like adding those characters, or you know, possibly adding other settings. Like that's kind of like the stars have to align for those things to work for us. A lot of the time it's easier to just be like, you know, just to ask Wizards like, hey, who can we add this person? And it's like, yeah, yes or no. It certainly helps if it's an established Forgotten Realms character like Dritz. When we're like, hey, we want to add Dritz to the game, what can you send us? It's like huge chunks of information. They're like, please use this character sheet, and you know, here's the reference art that we want you to use in order to create the character and stuff like that. So yeah, it's surprisingly complicated sometimes behind the scenes, in all these ways that players never have to see. When will we be adding Starscream? Never. God, like if you were going to add any Transformer, would you add the one that sucks and fails the most? I mean, come on. Devoodinator. Are we going to get the other Deus Ex Machina characters like Dritz? Example, Elminster. Man, wouldn't it be sweet to have Elminster? Elminster. Well, I mean, we have 12 character slots right now. Elminster feels like if we were to add him to this game, we would need a slot 15. Like, you know, 3 tiers further than Zorbu / Archon. Like, this is 12, 13, 14, and then off the screen to 15. Like, Elminster would be too big for us to add to the game right now. And even then, like, in order for it to feel like Elminster, like, what is he taking up 2 slots? Like, how, like, it's Elminster. Certainly there would be some massive expectations around his abilities, so luckily we have some time to think about that one, because we certainly can't add him soon. Good character. Great character. What else? Oh, yuck. Insane Joe, I'm sure the Critical Role cast wouldn't have any issues at all with you adding them if you asked. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, it's. I mean, they're. I can't speak for them because we've never spoken to any of them about any of that. I know Eric has met a few of them. Yeah, it's like I said, the stars have to align. You know, we'd have to be able to connect to them and make everything work, and then legal would have to work, and it would take time. Yeah. Volo before Elminster. Volo's a good character too. Yeah. Yeah. Power, wisdom, courage. Even if the cast were cool with it, Geek and Sundry would definitely not be. Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak to any of it. Like I said, it just IPs are complicated things. If anybody has ever had to work with an IP that you do not own before, that stuff gets complicated. Yeah, I mean, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a licensed Dungeons and Dragons clicker, right? Like, we have a license from Wizards of the Coast to produce the game. You know, without that, it would not be it would not be a D&D game. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. A corpse. Does the gold find percentage as provided by Jarlaxle affect gold content in silver chests and/or contracts? That's a good question that I can't think of the answer to offhand. Maybe? Huh. Erica probably know that. Yeah. Back at ya. Dylan, do you play a Hexblade Warlock in your D&D games? And what is his or her name? The one I am currently playing in the Office D&D campaign, which is what I was playing up until, well, maybe 5 to 10 minutes before I started the stream, because we started late and ran a little late on our lunch D&D today. His name is Veshok. He's ridiculously dour character who loves the Raven Queen and nothing else. He's kind of a actually, to be honest, sometimes I find him frustrating to play because he's such a douche. You know, Kat put together some really wicked, awesome pixel art of all of our characters that she shared through the Discord the other day. In I can't remember if it's in the C&E art gallery or the fan art gallery, but it's there. And like, one of the first comments was like, Veshok looks pretty emo, and Kat's like, he is, you have no idea. I'm like, he is. Like, we're having a conversation in a group in a room with an important NPC. He's the one standing in the corner with his arms crossed, you know, like pouting. He's just kind of, that's just how he rolls. I mean, he's a Shatterkai. He is, you know, been in service of the Raven Queen for so long that he has not a lot of personality or emotion left in him. But yeah, we hit level 5. We're fighting a bunch of vampires in the Curse of Strahd campaign. We're having a lot of fun. I really like Hexblade Warlock. As somebody who likes casters, the only thing I don't like about Warlocks is like how limited the number of spell slots they are, but at the same time, short rests. And Hexblade is awesome. And it's also, God, that is an abusable subclass for multi-classing. Like, you know, just as an example, if you were to make a paladin and multi-class into Hexblade Warlock, you could use your charisma for all your damage instead of strength with your melee attacks. But on top of that, you get at least 5 levels into Hexblade. You can get up to Eldritch Smite, which stacks with Divine Smite. So you could burn 2 spell slots on a successful melee hit to add crazy amounts of damage to an attack. Like, you know, possibly some of the highest damage per round possible out of a character, mixing those two together. So Hexblade Warlocks are awesome and a supremely good multi-class, and you can find them in Xanathar's Guide to Everything, along with a lot of other really awesome subclasses. Okay, so back to a corpse's question, because I got Erica to look it up just because I didn't have the answer offhand. Does your gold find percentage, as provided by Jarlaxle, affect gold content in silver chests and or contracts? Yes, it does. Yeah. Vatomal didn't like the Hex Xanathar version. It's too strong for multi-class. You see, I found the Unearthed Arcana one to be too strong, so I'm... You know, like... I think the part where... With a Hexblade Warlock, because you... With your first level in it, multi-classing, you get the ability to use Charisma for attacks, Hexblade Curse, and then, like, if you don't already have it, Medium Armor and Shields. Like, you get a lot for one level. Much more so than many other classes. It's crazy good. Yeah. Veshok is going to stay Warlock all the way through. I doubt he's going to multi-class unless events in the game lead him in a different direction. But yeah, Hexblades are strong. They don't feel as powerful as, like, I mean, Paladin Sorcerers or Paladin Warlocks are still like the crazy super DPSers, and then obviously Barbarians are nuts. But anyways. Steve Midrifty, no Tales from Candlekeep after the show this week. Not as far as I'm aware. According to the schedule, the next show is Waffle Talk at 4. Yeah, I think that the reason the last couple weeks we've had Tales from Candlekeep immediately following us is because they were doing the Twitch Prime Indie Amplifier, and did it wrap up? Because I think right now if you have Twitch Prime you get those games for free, so I think that was the end. Yeah. Yeah, Gigs NZ, Sorkadins are very fun. The DPS is amazing. Yeah, it's just it's one of those things where, like, it depends on your group and your DM, right? Like, how do you justify? It's like, I want to make this godlike character. It's like, okay, but, like, why are they there? How did this happen? Like, justify it. Like, you always have to have that relationship with your DM where they're accepting of that choice, that direction. So, yeah. But yeah, Sorkadins are. I mean, Hexblade Paladins are on that level as well, where just you're capable of just some absolutely ridiculous numbers. But I couldn't tell you mathematically which one's better. I'm sure somebody somewhere has already done that, though. The Unearthed Arcana doesn't let you use two-handed weapons. Okay, yeah. I never played a Hexblade Warlock from the UA version. I only played the Xanathar one, and it feels good, but it doesn't feel too strong. Hound of Ill Omen, making your Hexblade all the more powerful. Hound of Ill Omen is a Shadow Sorcerer, not Hexblade Warlock. Yeah. Anyways, getting distracted. It's funny. Last week I had a stack of the books sitting here, so I could reference them, but they are all over the office right now, so I can't pull it out to look at it. 2:33. Wow. Time flies. So, is there anything else anybody would like to know? Be it about Idle Champions or D&D. I'm trying to think of what I could talk about in advance. Yeah. Definitely stay tuned to our social media on Monday, because we have some things we'd like to start sharing, but we gotta wait. And obviously get your like Fleet's Wake ends on Monday morning, well, Monday at noon, so definitely try to unlock your Zorbu, even if you don't feel like he's ideal for your formation. All the unlocking and gearing up you're going to be able to do for him in the very near future is right now, so get that done and get all your achievements before the end of the event early next week. Back at you, 00. I got them confused. Yeah, it happens. I mean, Hexblade Warlocks, emo characters, Shadow Sorcerers, they're all kind of in the same Shadow Felly ballpark. Vatomal, the most common fix is to limit Hexblade Curse to melee attack. I got Sorlock, Hexblade on the table, and I'm DMing it as a nightmare. Eldritch Blast, man. Twinned Eldritch Blast. Yeah, and I mean, like, obviously when you're critting more frequently, like, critting more frequently is a deceptively powerful thing. Like, today during our, the couple rounds of combat we did do, getting a nat 20 crit is sometimes a game changer. I rolled a 19, but I'd hexed the target, not Hexblade cursed the target, and so like I could have got another crit there. Like I probably could have ended that guy in one round with that. And it's like, yeah, it's people often underestimate what getting a crit on a 19 or 20 is like versus just getting them on 20s. They're crazy good. Yeah. Dice camera action will begin in 4 days, 13 hours, 25 minutes. Sweet. Yeah. Baldnosis. Dylan, what's your favorite D&D PC game other than Idle Champions? That's tough. I'd probably just go with Baldur's Gate. I mean, even though it was a long time ago since I played it, it was just like, oh man, it was just such a damn good game. So probably that one. Alright, so PB and Jotter, do you ever plan on adding rarity above golden? That's a distinct possibility. I don't know how or what that'll look like, but that could happen. Divinator, Arenicus, Emoan, Sarvok, possible. Always trying to get me to answer questions that could potentially spoil things. You know, maybe I shouldn't talk about characters that are coming up. Or not coming up. Or potentially coming up. Yeah. You have a soft spot for Neverwinter Nights 1? Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they're good games, but yeah, Baldur's Gate was, I don't know. That was so awesome. Even though, like, at this point, I can't remember anything that happened in the game. I played it so long ago, but because that was like 20 years ago or something. Like, when did Baldur's Gate come out? It had to be like the 90s. Sometime in the 90s. God, 1998? Oh, that makes me feel old. 20 years ago. Wow. Santanos, thank you for doing the show by yourself. No worries. I mean, I just, yeah, I mean, I don't mind sitting here for a couple hours answering questions if people have them. Well, you know what, Corpse, I get Baldur's Gate 2 not grabbing you. I didn't even play Baldur's Gate 2, I don't think. I just really loved the first one, and I still have fond memories of it, and I have no desire to try and play it again, even though there's an enhanced edition of it, just because I remember loving the game, and like anything less than loving it another time I play it would feel like it would just, I don't know, probably just sully the memory at least somewhat. What's this? People are asking about Raceland now? Oh, Raceland. Yeah, you're thinking of Raceland Magir from Dragonlance, who is as OP of a wizard as one gets, or at least when he was at the height of his powers. Yeah, you guys are wondering about swaps. They're like everybody will get a swap, and then some. I mean, we have 3 swaps in this slot, right? And we have other ones with 1, so it's like it can go further than this. How about some backstabs? Oh, jeez, that area's done. I'm an idiot. Aeogane 10. Can we get a sprint mode in Idle Champions like in Kotley? Well, again, like we're not really sure how we're gonna do that kind of stuff. I mean, it's feedback we're getting, but we like it isn't that we want everything in this game to just be you know, the same features as our previous title. I mean, there's some great ideas in our previous title that we will take for sure, but they may look different when they reach us. So yeah. Octavian, an event completion reward. You mean in addition to achievements giving you a percentage of damage increase and a champion for playing the event, and then divine favor, which dramatically increases the amount of favor you have for your other campaigns. So are you asking about event completion rewards in addition to that? I think that'll be a tough sell to Justin and the team to have more more reward than what one already gets from events. And that said, you know, like, if you have a good idea, pass it along. Look at you still dealing damage with ults in a Barrowin formation. Yeah, well, I mean, eventually those ults will stop doing damage. Omar 1978, idle champions of the Forgotten Realms, not Dragonlance. That's true. This is we are primarily focused on the Forgotten Realms, specifically the Sword Coast right now, mostly. Although there's a little bit of Chult action going on. Looks like we've reached a point where my hitch ults aren't really doing much. Oh. It's funny, I can hear people chatting through the wall right now. I don't know if anybody can pick that up through the speakers. Oh. Baldagnosis. Baldnosis. How does Codename Entertainment measure the meta? Do you gather usage statistics or get a sense of it from Discord? Kind of all of the above. You know, we read all the forums and threads. So we read the subreddit, we read the Steam forums, we read Discord, we read the images that the images and feedback we get through other social channels like Twitter and on Facebook, and even to a very small degree on Instagram. So, like, you know, we're getting all that information and looking at that sort of consensus. But at the same time, you know, this company's been around for 9 years now, so we have a fair amount of video game creation experience under our belts, in addition to, you know, misspent youths and decades of gaming experience on top of it. And it's kind of like that intuition mixed with the information we get from what our players are actively saying with the information we have on the back end, because we can look stuff up if we want to. We kind of just use all of those things, but at the same time, like, there's a tendency, because we design for the long term as well as, like, hopefully for the short term, and it's a lot of stuff for Justin to juggle. I see Mage Othello asking about Trapped in a Birdcage. Holly is sick, so there won't be a Trapped in the Birdcage tonight. There will still be a Waffle Talk at 4 o'clock, but Trapped in the Birdcage comes back next week at 5 p.m. on Thursday. And just, you know, we're just hoping that, I don't know, Holly gets better quickly, and I believe she's also on, yeah, she's also on Dice Camera Action on Tuesday, which is like 4 days from now, so, well, 4.5 days from now. So there's also that. Is it too early to already be thinking about an extra reset to further boost Goldpine DPS? So we're setting favor to gain upgraded favors, a la Clicker Heroes. Well, I mean, we spend on blessings, right? Like, Arnorian, I'm not sure specifically what you're thinking of. Yeah, see Midrifty, good. Get well soon, Holly. I don't know if she's in channel or maybe she's just at home, curled up in bed with a blanket or something. I don't know. But we hope she gets better soon. Yeah, Arnorian, I'm not really familiar with enough with Clicker Heroes to know what you mean about extra resets to further boost Goldpine DPS. We're setting favor to gain upgraded favor. Yeah, I don't know much about that. I do not know Clicker Heroes at all. I have never touched it. I should, but I haven't. 231, huh? Getting there. Leejet 2. In the interest of people that don't know D&D very well, can we find a way to link the characters to where in D&D they are found? So that's an interesting bit of feedback, and we've had things related to it before. Like if we pull up our bios right now, this bio for Minsc. Minsc is a dim-witted but ferociously courageous ranger who saved Baldur's Gate and the surrounding area several times over the course of his adventures. He's accompanied by his stalwart companion Boo, a miniature giant space hamster. What that doesn't say is when Minsc was created, where he was from before, etc. There is other bio information for literally every character that we want to include and we haven't, and that could take a number of shapes. Because the other thing that we could reference is like this character sheet, these stats. Where did we get them from? Like, is this the one that Utkarsh was? Are these the stats from Utkarsh's character the last time that he played Hitch at the Fourth Grade season finale last November, or is it from another thing? So, yeah, we're looking at how we can do, how we can include more information and context, so that when you look at it and you're wondering, like, why is Dritz the way that he is in this game right now? It's like, oh, it's like because this version of Dritz is taken from this. You know, he's these stats, he's a ranger, etc. Because certainly there are books that have Dritz as a fighter, unofficial books. So yeah, it's one of those things. Tyrell's stats are ridiculous. Well, they're good stats. What can I say? That Firbolg Druid is good. So yeah, the context of characters and like where they're from and where we get information like their character sheets is something that we could definitely do a better job of explaining. Strongarm 852. What do you think about a potion that lets you earn your favor for the current run, but without resetting your current run? That sounds insane. Like, think how much favor that could be. Like, say you had 5 of them, and like this is your gold find right now, and you just like you start exponentially increasing the amount of favor that you have and can earn while you're earning it. That just strikes me as abusable. I don't know. Think of what that would do if, like, say you were doing your first event mission, the one where you do 50 areas to unlock the event hero. You could push to crazy high levels just in that one without even unlocking the event hero. Like, I don't know. It just seems abusable to me offhand. That said, you know, it might be an item idea that serves another purpose down the road, so I'll pass the feedback along at least. We're doing our last raffle now, huh? So, what are we giving away? Oh, speaking of Tyrell, it's a Tyrell 4th grade DLC pack. So that's, yeah, the Dylan Sprouse Druid that everybody loves from 4th grade, who rode giant wasps and did actually so many cool things. We get to give another DLC away for that. So what does that have? That has some pretty cool stuff. Let me scroll over here. Golden Empowered Rope of Entanglement, and then a bunch of blue items and some chests. So that's a pretty darn good haul. Oh, looks like I've reached a point where I need my double-stacked Barrow buffs in order to kill stuff. Getting there. Ray Cool, just to confirm, there will never be more potions of polish distributed, right? That is the intention. That is correct. It was a one-time thing based on the way that we were changing our loot system, and I don't think the intention is to ever do it again. So Strongarm 852, you have a follow-up. What if it just added the amount of favor you would earn by resetting to your favor pool without resetting, instead of adding all of your favor as you earn it for the whole run? I don't know. I mean, again, like, I can't make that kind of design decision choice. Like, it sounds to me like something that could be abused. But I mean, I could be wrong. There might be a way to make it work. So, like, you know, it's just it's a note I'll pass along to Justin, and he may or may not take that idea at some point. He might toss it. So who knows? Imanva, if you have a blue shiny and then get a purple, is the purple shiny, or do you lose the shiny? The purple will become shiny. Shiny items, shiny equipment cards. It makes that slot shiny. So if it's a shiny common, uncommon, or rare, if you get a rare, an uncommon, rare, or epic to upgrade from any one of those types of shinies, that epic will also be a shiny. So Yeah, because it's an upgrade to the slot. It increases the slot's effectiveness by 50% with a silver shiny. So, yeah. Anywho, we're getting close to the end here. This last raffle is wrapping up. Korzax, what is the shiny drop chance? Has it been revealed? It has been. So a shiny equipment card drops at 0. It's a 0.1% chance per equipment card drop. So they are rare. They are very rare. And currently they get more rare the more shinies that you have, because there are fewer available for you to earn. Very cool. If you were to reset right now, how much favor would you gain? 1.54 E08. A 10% increase. So it's a 150 million. Yeah, 10% increase. I'll leave it for a bit. It'll get higher than this. I usually wait to cap out around 250-ish before I try to reset. I know some players like Sidelisa push further. They'll go to 265. But they're also managing their characters and their Barrow buffs and stuff in a way that I'm just not going to do. So, come on, kill something. Almost done this level. There we go. Boom. 237. The Real Kestress is following. Congratulations, The Real Kestress. Canuck Monkey, my only shiny to date is for Archon. Dang it. Well, I mean, at least you got one. They are rare. What can I say? DC Backroads, you should give out birthday chests. Mine is today, hint, hint. That's cheeky. Yeah, I appreciate that, though. Yeah, congratulations, The Real Kestress, on your shiny new Tyrol chest code. And also, happy birthday, DC Backroads. I'd sing happy birthday to you, but I don't sing in front of people, so that's not going to happen. You know, so here we are. We're getting towards the end of the show. I hope you all appreciate me droning on and on for a while now. We will have a guest next week. Actually, we have guests lined up for the next 3 weeks already. Next week, we will have some artists joining me on the stream to talk about what will be at that time some fresh news. So stay tuned to all of the Idle Champions streams, sources, socials, etc. Because we will have a lot to talk about starting pretty soon. But yeah, not so much to share yet. Let's see. No guests on the stream this week. Nobody to thank for that. I guess I'll thank, of course, Wizards of the Coast for hosting us. Thank you for watching. So Waffle Chalk is up next. Follow at 4, followed by Critical Role at 7, and Trapped in the Birdcage. Holly Conrad's Planescape show returns next week, so that will be on at 5 then, but is not today because she is sick. So yeah, we will see you next week. Same time, same channel, more guests, a little less of me droning on and on. But until then, have a fantastic Fleet's Wake, and yeah, we'll catch you soon.